Hey, comic fans, welcome to When Comics Were Great. It's Art Jager coming at you with part 3 of our 3-part look at the original Marvel Star Wars run, published from 1977 to 1986.
Chilled monkey brains.
Let's start off with issue 77, written by Mary Jo Duffy, known as Joe Duffy back in the day, and penciled by Ron Frenz. It starts off promising enough. It looks as though the search for Han Solo, who is frozen in carbonate at this point still, it's about to begin anew. And just as quickly, it ends, and we're left with a story where Leia's mistaken for a space lounge singer named Shirley. Uh, oh well. Number 78, Hoth Stuff, is written by David Michelini, and Bob Layton, with art by Luke McDonnell. It takes the readers backwards again as Luke, Leia, and Lando travel back to Hoth to try to find Wedge Antilles and a missing transport ship. Issues 79 to 80, the search for Han continues, and we learn the fate of the rebel spy, Tay Vanis, the man who helped the Bothan spies find the information tapes regarding the Empire's new Death Star. And next, we have the story we fans at the time have been waiting 3 years for, Return of the Jedi, 1 through 4. Another terrific adaptation by Archie Goodwin with art by Al Williamson and Carlos Garzon, with all 4 issues featuring some terrific cover art by Bill Sienkiewicz. The first 3 issues and about 3/4 of issue 4 are just awesome, incredible, stunning even. And then the artwork falls off. I don't know what happened there. I don't know the facts of it, but it seems like Al Williamson maybe wasn't given enough time to finish the book, so they brought in Ron Frenz and Tom Palmer to finish up, and they were rushed too, and the quality sort of goes from stunning to jarringly off, to say the least. But over and all in all, it's a great adaptation. Issue 81 by Joe Duffy and Ron Frenz is the first post-Jedi story and features the return of Han Solo and the first time in the expanded universe that Boba Fett escapes from the Sarlacc pit. And, a beautiful painted cover by Tom Palmer doesn't hurt either. Number 82 has Luke on another diplomatic mission to the water planet of Iskalon. Again. Man, they were really getting their money's worth out of that planet. Issue 83 has Lando reunited with an old girlfriend, the queen of the planet Droheda. He's there to help quell an uprising. It's a fun little offbeat adventure written by Linda Grant with art by Bob McLeod. Roy Richardson and David the Mazzucchelli give us issue 84, whereupon Han and Chewie return from a diplomatic mission. They then take a quick sojourn and end up getting in an Indiana Jones-style adventure, retrieving an ancient artifact from a planet that is not supposed to exist. The creative team of Joe Duffy and Bob McLeod return in issue 85, which has Han, Chewie, and Lando run into an old frenemy on a backwater world. The issue also features the return of Bosk and IG-88, as well as the statue of the dancing goddess. If you have an eagle eye, you'll notice that one appeared briefly as an Easter egg in the movie Solo: A Star Wars Story. Number 86 is a flashback story written by Randy Stradley with art by Bob McLeod, in which Leia meets a stormtrooper from her home planet of Alderaan. This was the first and only time Stradley would write for Marvel Star Wars, but he'd go on to pen a couple of Star Wars stories for Dark Horse in the 1990s. Issue 87, Duffy returns as writer with Tom Palmer on pencils. The issue features Luke, the Rick Duel gang from issue 70, and Cairo the Iskalonian teaming up to stop an Imperial Doomsday weapon. The Empire had a lot of those back in the day, I'll tell you that for nothing. Issue 88 has Princess Leia and Mon Mothma on a diplomatic mission and features the long-awaited return of one of Marvel's most popular original characters, Shira Bree, or as she is now known, Darth Lumaya. 89 is another one-shot story written by Ann Nocenti with pencils by Brett Blevins, featuring Luke getting embroiled in romance, revolution, and revenge on the planet Soleil. This issue also always stood out to me as one of the better written stories of the post-Jedi era. Issue 90 is an all-new post-Jedi adventure by Duffy and McLeod that has Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie being ultimately excluded from participating in the New Republic, at the time known as the Alliance of Free Planets, and their government because they had the gall to accidentally miss a meeting. Well, that escalated quickly. In issue 91, Han and Chewie return to Kashyyyk for the first time since the holiday special, where they have to stop a man named Knife from reopening the Wookiee slave trade. Number 92, Luke and Leia receive a petition from Prince Denon to help defeat the Imperial remnant on the planet Naldar. This issue is a sequel to the Star Wars Annual number 3 and features a fantastic cover by Cynthia Martin and Bill Sienkiewicz. In issue 93, Sal Buscema does a great job on pencils in this mediocre Joe Duffy pen story that has the Star Warriors visiting a planet of warring cat ladies. Well, alien cat people, really. As of issue 94, Cynthia Martin takes over penciling duties for pretty much the remainder of the series, and the work's a bit of an acquired taste. It seems to be almost cartoon inspired, and I don't know if it works for Star Wars. But as with everything, your mileage may vary. Issues 95 to 97, a new threat to the Alliance emerges, and Luke Skywalker must fight for his life in a climactic duel against Darth Lumaya. Despite the artwork, which I've already said is not entirely to my taste for this book, it has in it one of the best duels in all of Marvel Star Wars. Issue 98 is a one-shot featuring Han Solo and Nien Nunb on a mission to a former Imperial prison planet to escort a woman and a child to the planet Vandalhelm. Archie Goodwin returns to pen this terrific little tale, and Al Williamson is back on pencils and inks for the last time in the original Star Wars run, and that's too bad because those fellows are simply the best. Oh, and also, of course, it has another fantastic cover by Bill Sienkiewicz. Issue 99, Ron Friends guest pencils this story by Joe Duffy that has Han Solo threatening to start a war to save his friend, Lando Calrissian. And Star Wars hits the big milestone, 100! Wow, man, not many books these days make it to 100 issues. But since there are only 107 issues in total in the series, I suspect that the writing might have already been on the wall regarding the book's cancellation. I don't know. Only certain people know for sure, and one of them isn't me. This double-sized issue features the invasion of Endor by the evil Nagai. You know, I never thought about it at the time, but does anybody out there know why the Alliance stayed on Endor and didn't gather the fleet and take over Imperial Center, as Coruscant was known back in the day? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Issue 101 features the return of Mandalorian Fen Shasa and gives us yet another awesome Sienkiewicz cover. Issue 102, the Nagai have invaded Iskalan. Here's that water planet again. And Cairo is back from the dead to help the Alliance defend his world. Sal Buscema guest pencils on this issue. Issue 103, Princess Leia and a group of Zeltron teenagers must escape a planet overrun by the Nagai. This would be the last issue, published monthly, as the schedule would switch to bi-monthly from here on to the end of the run. I suppose at the time I should have suspected that the end was near for this book, but as a young person, you're always ever so enthusiastic about the future. 104 to 106, the Star Warriors enlist the people of Zeltros to assist them in their war against the Nagai, only to find an alien species called the Hiromi already have plans to invade, only to have their plans foiled by a third group of invaders, the villainous Toffs. And now the end is near. The final issue of the original run, number 107. Time jumps the action about 4 months in universe and gives us the final battle in the war between the Alliance of Free Planets and the Toffs, led by Darth Lumaya. And I probably made that sound more exciting than it actually was. And now for the annuals, of which there are only 3, which is odd because the book ran for 10 years, so one would think that there'd be 10 annuals. Can only presume the fine folks at Marvel didn't understand the meaning of the word at the time. Anyway, annual number one from 1979 features a two-part story by Chris Claremont with art by Mike Vosberg. It introduces an exciting new villain who is quickly disposed of at the end. The book also tries to create lore based on what we all thought at the time that we knew, the idea that Darth Vader and Luke's father were two different people. I mean, that was 1979. That's all we knew. Annual 2 is from 1982. On the planet Ventuine, Luke, Lando, and 3PO come across a mysterious golden statue of Han Solo? Another fun story written by David Michelini and with some decent looking artwork from Carmine Infantino. Annual 3, released in 1983. A boy who wants to be trained as a Jedi is rejected by Luke Skywalker, but welcomed to the dark side of the Force by Darth Vader. Written by Joe Duffy with art by Klaus Janson. The sequel to this story is, as mentioned earlier, issue 92. And that's it. Except it's not, because in 2019, Disney Marvel released issue 108. In honor of Marvel's 80th anniversary, this king-size book is written by Matthew Rosenberg, penciled by, well, it's too many artists to mention right now. And it serves as a sequel to Star Wars number 50, Archie Goodwin's classic tale, The Crimson Forever. I would also argue it's the best Star Wars comic modern-day Marvel has ever published. But what do I know? Tell me what you think about Marvel Star Wars down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see all y'all in the next video. Later. Issue 99, Ron Friends guest pencils this story with Joe Duffy on rub back. Did you get off, folks? Wait.